I do not encourage nor condone any of the actions performed or products shown in this video. All of the videos are produced in a safe and controlled environment. Do not attempt to replicate any of the actions performed during this video.
Hello beautiful people from the internet, it is Connie over here. Welcome back to another video. Now I was sitting here with my crisis, my coffee, and also my mini chocolate cigar that I was about to smoke because I felt quite nostalgic, as around this time last year, that's when I recorded my video that was titled Smoking a Mini Cigar while explaining my existential crisis that I was having last year. It's around death. If you're curious, I still am not over it. But I thought, since I deleted that video because of reasons out of my control, I am going to be smoking a mini chocolate cigar while talking about my current existential crisis and also my thoughts on growth. I don't know, whatever comes to mind, I suppose. That's what I usually say. Now, let us light this up, which I will do just now. Mine will taste exactly like it tasted last year because they are kept in little separated plastic wraps. They don't really feel like they age, so it feels like a fresh mini cigar. The funny thing is, it's not funny at all, actually. I'm just trying to make light of the situation, so I help myself go through it. Otherwise, I would crash and burn, possibly. Well, last year, when I recorded this same video, I talked about the death of my cats approaching because they were getting old. And 2 days ago, one of our cats, Stupid, passed away after a long week of medications and trying to see what we could do to help him. It turns out your cat is 18 years old, there's not much else we can do, miss, said our vet when he came here for his last evaluation, and so we had to let him go. And it has been really difficult. Ever since then, I feel like I've come to a sort of paralysis inside of my thoughts. So I'm usually a person that thinks a lot and can think a lot for prolonged periods of time, but it feels like I sit down now and there's sort of a veil in front of my head, as if I try to think about things and I can see them on the other side of the veil, but I cannot reach them. You know, does that sound weird? Because it does sound weird to me. You know, one thing that's helping me feel a little bit better is the fact that this cigar really tastes like chocolate. I thought it was going to be one of those, oh, this cigar tastes like chocolate, miss, you should probably purchase it, tells me the vendor at the gas station, to which I say, yeah, okay, give it to me, I'll try it. But it actually tastes like chocolate, which I was very surprised to feel last year when I first tried them. You know, this year just feels like a year of many losses. I lost less significant things, like for example, tons and tons of videos on my channel because of a situation that I went through, which you could argue is less significant because it's not really alive, but it's hours and hours of work and creativity that I put into so many videos that I had to delete because I was silly and panicked. I told this story in this video. It's called Why I Deleted 150 Videos if you'd like to watch it. But you know, TLDR, I ran into some problems with YouTube's community guidelines and I ended up deleting a lot of videos that I didn't need to delete, but I didn't know at the time. So at the same time where I deleted those videos, I lost my cat Riscas, which was really difficult. We had him for 16 years and, you know, very crucial part of a human life. It's their pets, and so when you lose your pet, you kind of lose a part of yourself as well. And the worst thing about losing a pet is the last week of their lives, usually they are eating special foods that are especially made to like help hydrate and stuff like that. So you have these special foods, at least we had those, and then you come back home after they pass away and you still have these foods that, you know, you either don't have more cats to give to and you end up giving them to the cats on the street, or just sending them to an organization that will feed those foods to other cats that need it, or you're just left there looking at that food that was specific for your sick cat and you're just reminded that, you know, they're no longer here to take it, which is sort of complicated. You know, coming home to all of the memories, all of the places you saw them playing at, it's just difficult. after losing my cat Rishkas and my 150 videos, the year felt like it was heading in a great direction. Although I knew there were losses still to take, I thought they were a little bit further away. Well, it turns out at the point of recording this video that we only have about a month left in this house. We have a scheduled date at which we have to leave. This is the house that all of my family grew up in, including me, my brother, my mom, everyone in this family. And so it will be difficult, but you know, that's what happens when you sell a house. You no longer have access to it. So I guess that's another thing that is going to be lost this year. And 2 days ago we lost our cat Stupid, and so it just has felt like lights are lighting off, you know. It's as if you start with a board, and the board has multiple lights turned on, and then it feels like as you leave your life, lights start turning off, and they start turning off, and you see the empty spots or the light bulb that went out, and you see that there was a light there but there no longer is, and nothing will make up for that space. It will just always be a light bulb that went off, you know, because you cannot replace these things. You can get another cat, but it's not going to be like having Rishkas or Stupid, you know. I'll never have that light bulb turned on again. So it's just a complicated bunch of feelings that I guess I'm feeling currently. I've also been realizing a lot about my own growth, because I think I did a lot of it this year. Oh my goodness, there's a bee and I'm a bit scared of it. Not wanting to be pretentious, I don't even know if that's the word for it, but I feel like when I watch videos of myself last year, I think that I was very, very silly. And last year I would watch videos of myself the year prior, and I thought I was only a little bit silly, but now I think that I'm a little bit more than I was before. Again, maybe I'm just being pretentious, although I still don't really know what that means, but I'm pretty sure I have the definition right in my head. I'll put it over here as well, so I force myself to go do some research and make sure I'm not saying something I don't know the meaning of. I feel like I've just grown a lot out of the selfishness that a person usually has in their teenage years. Maybe not everyone, maybe I did, but in my teenage years I definitely had, and young adult years, I had I have to work for myself, I have to work on myself, I have to spend all of this time grinding for my future and all of that. And I kind of not forgot, but didn't pay as much attention as maybe I should have to my social connections, either friends or family. And I feel like this year I've realized how important that connection is, you know, because you can have a fantastic job that you worked very hard to get to, and you can also get laid off. And then when you get laid off, you have your family to support you emotionally, to be there for you, to give you a hug, to say that everything is going to be fine. But if you just, you know, if you pull yourself away from everyone, which is what I did when I was a teenager, and I didn't understand that having a support system was the most important thing, and not exactly grinding and grinding and grinding, which can also be important for some people. I guess it's just not my very big priority, as I've realized my priority is taking care of my family and friends, and myself as well a little bit. I also need a little bit of grace. Because I think that everything is surpassable if you have a support system around you. If you have one friend, if you have one family member that's, you know, willing to love you very much and that you love very much as well. It's just so much easier to go through life if you have these people. Whereas if you push everyone away, and then the things that you're working towards, you know, fail or don't go as planned, which is going to happen a lot of times in life, then you just find yourself alone. And it's always good to care for people, and it's always good to have people to care for us. So I think it's very important to nourish those relationships, and I think that's one of the things that I really, really solidified in my brain this year. I think I've just been feeling a little bit sad, uncreative, if that's even a word, and unmotivated. It feels like I try to think about multiple things that I want to think about, and I cannot reach the conclusions or even the thought process that will take me to those conclusions. It's like inside of my brain I have these concepts and words, and usually I can connect them, but not now. Ever since Stupid passed away, everything feels like sort of mashed potato inside of my brain, and I miss him so much, you know, so much, because he was such a special cat. Oh goodness, I've told his story before, but he was a cat that was dropped off at our house because he was very mean and aggressive, supposedly, and his owner couldn't handle taking care of him anymore, and so they left him here. And for a year he stayed in the garden scared. He wouldn't let anyone approach him. We would just leave food at his spot and leave before he could scratch us. And then he started getting inside of the house, and he started meowing for pets. He started allowing people to pet him. He started getting on people's laps to get pets, and he started purring. He had the loudest purring machine I've ever heard in any cat. It sounded like a mini motorcycle or something like that. It was actually crazy. And then, you know, last week he suddenly started limping, and we immediately called the vet, and we were like, hey, we have a cat that's limping. He never did this before, and we don't know what's wrong with him. And then he arrived at our house and he told us, all you can do is palliative care. This cat is 18 years old. Make sure you keep him comfortable. To which we were like, okay. We knew he was 18, probably, you know, sooner or later he was going to go in the process of moving towards the next stage of being, which I don't know what it is, but it's always difficult to learn that you only have a couple more days left with your buddy, you know. And so and so I was here every morning. I came here to take care of him, and every day I just saw him lose a little bit of ability, you know. On the first day he could still eat and walk around, and then on the next day he would only eat liquids or drink liquids, I suppose. And then on the last day he would only lay down, not even close his eyes, and he wouldn't even accept liquids anymore. He was just done, and he was trying to tell us he was done, and I listened to him. So I told my mom to call the vet, because one of the most important parts of loving is letting go. And so we understood that he was tired, you know. But it's just difficult. I look around all of these places he used to love laying down on, and I think to myself how much he would have loved to sit here next to me as I'm reading, or climb up the tree, or do something that he loved doing, you know. And it feels unfair that I get to wake up another day to witness a beautiful summer day that he cannot see anymore. And I do understand that every creature has its time, and I will as well, and it may not even be as long as I think it will be, or expect it to be. I don't think I expect much from life, honestly. I never really think about the longevity of my own life. I kind of just live every day, not thinking like it's the last, but, you know, having the assumption that it may be. So, not that I do reckless things or things that I would only do if I thought I would die tomorrow. It's more like I don't expect to live very long. I don't know why. I never really thought about it. I just never expected very much, I think. But now I know that, you know, Stupid and Gieske's have finally met wherever they went next, and I hope they are playing a lot with other cats and possible cat owners over there. There must be cat owners in heaven too, and I hope there's a comfortable sofa where he can sit at the corner, because he always wanted to sit at the corner of the sofa, so he would be like tucked in, you know. I hope he's in, I'm not gonna say better place, because I know he loved being here, so I hope he is in a place similar to this one. Maybe he's even watching over me. Hey, I don't know. Don't you guys find it weird that you've never heard from anyone that has passed ever again? Like, I've theorized infinitely about the possibility of an afterlife and all of that, but how is it possible for there to be an afterlife in which you cannot communicate at all with this world? Or can you communicate, but we just don't have the abilities to understand, you know? Just like we don't see the whole spectrum of light, maybe we also cannot understand the way in which the dead try to communicate with us. I don't know. Only when I get there will I realize. But hopefully I still have some more time. Hopefully until tomorrow at least. Hopefully until I can finish this video. I guess I'm just feeling sad, which is okay. But I feel like also over the past year I've tried to bring a more positive, happy and excited character to this channel. Which, don't get me wrong, is not a character that I created or manufactured artificially. It's me, but maybe on the days where I was feeling sad, whereas before I would still record on those days, nowadays maybe I don't. And I think that's because I don't want you guys to acquire sad emotions from my videos. I want you to live my videos feeling uplifted and calm and happy. And I fear that if I tell you the things that I'm sad about, you may become sad too. I don't know. That's me thinking that any of the things that I talk about have any importance to you at all, or that the topics will spark anything in you. That's just me thinking I have anything important to say, which maybe I don't, but maybe I do. And I'm scared that I may, I don't know, leave you feeling a little bit sad or preoccupied with things that you weren't thinking about before. But I also think it's important to talk about the things that, you know, are human and not as happy as other things that are also human. And so that's why today I wanted to make this video in which I tell you, hey, I'm sad and I don't know when it's going to go away, and I hope it doesn't take very long. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. If I talk more about the topic, I'll definitely start crying some more, which, trust me, I've been doing a lot of. Turns out losing your cat is a very great catalyst for the tap I thought was empty behind my eyes, but actually it is not empty. It has been producing a lot of salty tears. So you know what? If you need to cry, cry, my friend. There's no shame in that, all right? And I'm right here. I'm right here. All right, so have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening to my babbles, and I hope I didn't make you sad. I actually hope I made you comfortable in knowing that, you know, a lot of the things that you're thinking about, I'm thinking about them too. All right, I'll see you soon. Sorry, Luna just had a moment. I'll see you soon. Bye.